All righty. And here we are. Bitcoin, I guess the story of the morning is Bitcoin with a pretty decent bounce overnight. Got down as far as, let me see here. Where did it go? Got as far as, I think, 91 yesterday. I think so. It took a bit of a whooping. Yeah, I mean, it got down to 91,223 or so. Pretty big bounce here overnight. And now we're trading 483. I don't know where it's getting that. I also have it at, I think it's two different contracts, 96. For whatever reason, I don't think this one, or is this that's the spot crypto. That's the actual Coinbase price. The other one I'm looking at is the future. And the future's at 96,325, but I don't know if that rolled or not. But anyway, we're back up to 95,485. So really nice bounce here. And I was pretty methodical, actually, when you think about it. And I think it's actually lifting the rest of the market, surprisingly. It seems to be, it kind of seems to be trading with everything else. And that's what it looks like, and that is the bounce there. That is the bounce, really. Yeah. So that is kind of the story of the morning. And good old XRP. If I see one more influencer on this, I really think, look, you want to buy XRP, go ahead. I have no problem with it. I go buy anything. You know what I mean? You want to go buy porn magazines, stick them under your bed. I don't care. But you know what? I don't need to see you on social media 15 times a day beating the table on this thing. It's just like everything else. I firmly believe that these people out, XRP Army, and it's pretty much anybody in crypto right now. It's literally like, and I'm kind of making a joke about it, and I know that a lot of them are starting to get pissed off at me, but I'm like repeating the news, because I'm like looking at the news, like, and all they're doing is like, it's breaking news, and then they come up and it's basically just a repeat of what they're showing you, like either on TradingView or Market Watch. It's like, dude, it's not breaking news. You know what? If you're talking about it and you're on social media, it's already leaked news, right? You're late to the party. By you coming on here and going, oh, breaking news, it's like, God, come on, stop. You're ruining the space for people who really want to, do things in it. So anyway, MicroStrategy, dismal December, still keeps it at the top of 2024 Bitcoin tied asset rankings. This is interesting too. IBIT, which is is it the BlackRock? Yeah, it's the BlackRock crypto ETF. I happen to own a bit of it. This is one way I'm actually investing in Bitcoin. I mean, because it's pretty convenient. There's options on it. We'll look at it in a second. But here's the story. It came out of a Bloomberg, I think. Is it Bloomberg or who is it? I don't even know. Toby News? I have no idea who Toby. Does that say Toby? I don't even know. Is it? That's kind of funny. But anyway, that does not surprise me. But we will look into that one. I actually like that. I haven't done any options on it, but it appears to be pretty liquid. And that is IBIT. And it, for the most part, if you actually look at it, it pretty much trades with crypto. And so anyway, I'm just going to go over that. That's pretty much the news there. Futures are bouncing this morning. Really interesting day yesterday, right? We were off literally 100 handles, and they were smashing things yesterday morning, and it looked like it was going to get ugly, and it didn't. Let me flip screens here. Another important update, and I don't know if anyone's aware of it or not, but Tasty Trade, see that down there? Tasty Trade is now on TradingView. Yes, Tasty Trade is now on TradingView. I'm actually really excited about that. One of my big issues, and we'll look, I can now trade my Tasty Trade account. I can do my futures trades through TradingView. My biggest problem with Tasty Trade has been their charts. They suck. Let's face it. And I've been trying to do my best to use them, but they stink. And what's even worse is that they have this trading apparatus where there's like this grid where this is kind of like their active trading thing, but there's no DOM, which I don't really care about a DOM, but there's no, like their charts, you can't have them set up to where they are really usable for trading, in my opinion. I cannot find anything good about their charts, and the fact that now they're on TradingView, I think is huge. Like, it puts them in another league, in my opinion, because now I can actually have my charts. I could trade right through here on the platform. I have an account with Amped Futures. I don't even need them anymore. So I'm going to ditch them. So bad news for them. And I'm just going to trade my futures through Tasty Trade. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. So if anyone who doesn't know, go down to Tasty Trade, go down to the trade tab, and they are on TradingView now. And I'm excited. I am excited. And as you can see, I have it set up now. I'm still going to use their option chain and all that, because that is second to none. There's no question about it. They pretty much hold the prize for anything options, and so I'm still going to use that for trading my options. But anyway, with that being said, let's roll into IBIT, which is IBIT, which is the iShares Bitcoin Trust. And, just looking at it on a simple chart, if you looked at this and compared it to, and you see I have a whopping 10 shares down at 35, right? Looking pretty good. And this is, I think, in my IRA from Miami. You can see it pretty much follows Bitcoin pretty consistently. Pretty interesting here, though. IV rank of 75.4. I don't know what Tasty gives it as far as it gets a 5-star liquidity rating, which it's awesome. I have not done any options in here, though. I have not done any options. I think if I was going to do anything in here, it would probably be out in March. You could see there's a ton of open interest on both sides. I mean, look up and down the chain here, and you do see you have some really incredible liquidity, right? I mean, 4K, 11K here out at the 60 mark. We're currently trading at 54, so a lot of liquidity on this on both sides, so pretty interesting. Expected move in March is about $12. So you have to take that into account. I'm trying to move this thing. Oh, there it goes. I'm trying to move this thing. Move it. Okay. So anyway, expected move. And then I'm going to actually look down here. Not really giving you a lot. Looking at probably like a 15 delta is a 42. You're not going to be able to do... I'm sure the margins are not going to be good in this. So you're going to have to do something risk-defined. And that's a 15 delta on the put side and a 15 comparable on the call side. All right, brings us all the way out Wow, a 15 delta brings us out to almost an 81. And you can see there's 2K sitting out here at 80. That's about where I would go if I were going to be doing, if I were a trade and I'd be looking to do something. This looks like something that I would do. You have 5 wide, like a standard iron condor. If you were looking to sell some volatility, would bring you there, and then you would do the 85. There is definitely some, I mean, the fact that this is only 35-cent difference here is kind of nuts. I mean, they are not paying me much at all on that side. Literally, like, what, 60 cents on the call side? So there is a ton of call skew in here. And so, anyway, here's a March iron condor. And I just have to fix that. And that's a 37 there. So that's what that looks like. I mean, to bring in a $1.25 is what I would probably want to do there. I don't know why this went 80, 90. I did 95. Pretty standard iron condor. Not real juicy, though, quite honestly. I kind of thought you'd get more than this. Now it's $1.04. Yeah. And then you're not even getting a pop over 70 here. So, I don't know. Just interesting. I have not done any options on IBIT. I do think it's ripe, though, because of this right here, right? IV rank is 74.5. Extremely liquid ETF is what's got me even kind of poking the door here. But I'm just not seeing it. But from a juice point of view, and from a margin, point of view, it is kind of, it's expensive. It's not cheap at all. So I don't know, and it's not showing up on this, which I'm actually surprised. The high option volume, because it does seem to have some pretty decent, it has some pretty decent open interest up and down. I mean, here's February. I mean, that has some pretty good open interest, which tells me that this is not just being traded by, John Q. Public, because look, let's face it, Johnny Q is not putting, 8,000 or 33,000 contracts. Not buying 33,000 contracts, at the 60 strike. That's just not, that's not Joe Blow influencer who thinks he bought 10 contracts and was like, oh yeah, it's going to moon, right? That's institutions. So you at least have liquidity in here. I just don't know I don't know what I would do because the margins are so bad. Other than a risk-defined trade, I mean, I guess if you're bullish, you just sell puts. That's really all you can do. If you're bullish, you sell puts, or if you're bearish, you sell calls. Because it looks like even just doing an iron condor, it just doesn't cut it in my book anyway. I'm just not seeing it. I mean, here's February. This one looks a little bit better, even though I'm on the downside and I'm skewed a little bit. I actually like this one better if I was going to do anything. You have to do something risk defined because of the margins. That to me is probably the best trade you can literally do in here, that you're not going to get your head torn off one way or the other, right? If there's a bit of a if there's a bit of a dump, you're not going to get killed, and if there's a bit and they rip your face off to the upside, you're not going to get destroyed. You're going to use about $375 worth of buying power, and again, you got the flexibility to roll these puts up over time to kind of buy yourself a little more time as it comes back down. And you're in February, so you got 52 days. I actually like that one. I'm probably going to put that one on today. I mean, these numbers are going to change. That's why I hate to actually do these pre-market, but hopefully maybe I'll be still on by the time the market opens. So that's going on with IBIT. And I kind of like the idea that the IV rank is up there, because if you look at it from on a graphical point of view, I mean, you can see the volatility in here is just exploded. Totally exploded. So, which is awesome. All right. So what else is in the news here? Moving around. There's a couple other things here I see. We'll talk about Nat Gas. Natty Gas actually taking it on the chin a bit today, which is actually a good thing for us, for me anyway. Natty Gas. Kind of selling off a bit, but it's been on a tear. I see a few other things here. What's EH? I don't even know what the EH pre-market after fourth quarter preliminary revenue. I don't even know what EH is. I have no idea what it is. What is EH? I have no clue. I'm horrible, man. I don't follow. You know what? I follow about 30 stocks, and that's about it. And if it doesn't bleed in, if the news doesn't bleed into any of those, I just ignore it. I don't know. Maybe I'm getting old, but I just have no interest in following 90 million stocks anymore, and being trendy. I don't care. SGMO just looks like it's getting just destroyed, whatever this is. SGMO. I'm seeing the headlines. It says something about Pfizer ends pact. Sangamo Therapeutics. I mean, that sounds this to me just sounds like one of these pump and dumper bullshit stocks that you see, like Timothy Sykes, right? It's like a Timothy Sykes stock. Get my top 20 ranking penny stocks. How the fuck is that guy still in business, man? How is he still even around? How is he not in jail by now? Anyway, CMPO, but needless to say, Compo Secure. All right, never heard of them. After spinoff. All right, so there's a spinoff, whatever that means. They're spinning something off. They're spinning off. Let's see if they picked it up. They didn't even pick it up here. Slides after cutting annual forecast. All right, so they don't even have it. We'll talk about crude oil. We'll talk about the dollar and bonds getting a bid too, making the tape. And FTAI. FTAI. Wow, FTI aviation. All right. I don't even know. Again, it's $126 stock. I don't even know what the hell it is. I didn't know. I have no idea what the FTAI is, but it's up 8% after the headlines. All right, so there you go. Other than that, that's it. And so let's look at Natty Gas real quick. So Natty, we will expand this one here, this one, yes, this one, and we'll look at Natty Gas. Natty Gas, real big gap down, another big candle here, trading 36 now, 6.9, down about 6%. But yesterday, right, this thing just ripped. And it's been pretty much a downward spiral from that. We'll continue to watch that. We're short those that iron condor in those option contracts. So that's kind of what's going on. I think other than that, bonds getting a really nice move here last couple of days. I have this trend line here. Let's see if it actually winds up getting to it. I don't know where that's from, but that looks a mess. But anyway, nice rally in the bonds. We did get up as high as what? 114.23 current trade. 114.09. 114.09. Pretty interesting as well, though. Bouncing right off an R1. So we'll see if if this strength continues. And you can see over the last couple of days. I mean, did we find the bottom here in bonds? I don't know. I don't know where these lines are from, so I am going to get rid of them because I don't remember. I mean, I haven't been on TradingView, so now that I'm actually have Tasty Trade, I'm going to use TradingView. What are you going to tell? What am I going to tell you? Up until I found out, I was going to force myself. I mean, did we find the bottom in the bonds here? It's very possible. It is very, very possible we found the bottom in the bonds here. I mean, we will see, but it does appear that may have been the short-term bottom that I think a lot of bond traders, including myself, was kind of hoping for, because at what point is it going to bounce? You are going to see a lot of resistance up here. 115, 116, what? 116.10. But we have a lot of air here. Not a lot of like negative volume here to slow this down. Where if it actually gets some mojo, I think we're in a situation kind of like where Nat Gas was at that point when it was smacking its head at its highs. I think we're at a point here in natural gas. We get up over one. I mean, in the bonds. That was spooky. And we get up here over like was it 115 or so? 115.02. So I'm going to go ahead and set an alert for 115.02. All right, and if this breaks out, we could easily, go up another handle and a half, 116 and change. All right, there you have it. So right up here, and that happens to be an R3. Now, I don't know if that happens today. Anything can happen, right? I mean, so that's kind of what's going on with the bonds. As far as everything else, we'll take a look at crude oil. Crude oil's been on quite a tear, actually. The only thing that's wrong with this move in crude oil is that I really haven't been involved with it, and B, it hasn't really. Crude oil's been real rough trade, right? So you pretty much have this spot. We bounced. Right, and then we kind of consolidated here, and we've bounced, and we've been bouncing off these lows pretty strongly. I don't know, is crude oil slowly now becoming that asset? But when you start drilling out on crude oil, it's been a rough go. It's been a real rough go. Like, I mean, look at this. From back in October, and it's almost January, we literally have had no Range as high as 78 and change, low as 65, and we've pretty much been in here this entire time. Bit of a breakout here, double top, right? Breakout, breakdown. I don't know. I just don't see it being tradable. It's a very hard asset right now to me, honestly, to trade it. And even when I go and look at some of the ETFs, like I look at XOP, which are a few that I like to look at, there's really not much volatility in there. So really can't, you pretty much have to be one-sided in here. And you look at XLE, which are really the two that I use to play. I mean, the only ones that have actually done well in is Oxy and Apache are two that I just did recently that have worked out. But there's just really not enough volatility in here. And if you're going to do anything and play this, I would actually go out to March. And as I mentioned before, I think a calendar spread is probably going to be your best bet with something like an XLE, only because there's no volatility in here. And I don't really have much on in this space right now. And I kind of feel like I actually need to add a little something. So maybe I do a March. I always like to be in the money. I got to wait till this opens because look at the spread on these. So I can't even price these out at this point because the spreads are ridiculous. This is not generally a great or a very high liquid asset in general. It's okay. I don't know what Tasty Trade rates it. I would believe it's probably like 4 stars. Yeah. 4-star, 3-star, 3-star liquidity. Probably same with XLE. That one gets 4-star. But I would do a calendar spread. I'm not even going to price it out. But anyway, I think crude oil is actually worth a play here, even at trading where it has. There seems to be some more room for this thing to run up to near 80 bucks. I think we do get up near 80 bucks. It's just going to take time. I don't know. It's not going to happen overnight. But I think we do get up to 80 bucks. What else? That's really it. And then we start looking at big tech, which is always a good idea. I always like to do that. You look at Tesla getting a little bit of a bounce today. Up about 1.5% pre-market. Amazon bouncing, NVIDIA, pretty much everything right after yesterday. They're all a little bit in the green. I think the only one down right now pre-market looks like Googs. Is it Goog or Google? I think it's Google is the one that we trade most of the time is Google. I don't think we do Googs. And that's really kind of the story. Again, I went through a lot of stuff, other stuff. You're not going to get any like real tax selling, blah, blah, blah. You might just get some people cleaning stuff up. I know what I tend to do on days like today, last day of the trading year. A lot of times I'll just go in and if I just don't like something, I think, what's his name said it yesterday too, which I was like, wow, I thought I was the only one who did that. But Sosnoff said the same thing yesterday. Like, if I don't like something or it's just not sitting well with me and I just want to kind of go into the new year with like a clean slate, I'll just get rid of it. I'll just get rid of it. Be like, you know what? I want to start off the year clean. Even if it's at a loss, who cares? But that's really it as far as like what's going on. There's really not a hell of a lot. It's pretty lackluster. No new trades really at all. not much news. I'm not going to get into the politics. I mean, if I see one more thing about politics anymore now, it's like, we went from, Kamala Harris is the next best thing since sliced bread to now everything Donald Trump is a disaster and chaos. It's like, come on, shut up already. I don't care. I don't care. Like, the election's over. Whoever won. And so, move on. Move on. To me, I'm like, it's about making money. I don't care anymore. End it. It doesn't matter. Guy's not even in office yet. You want to start complaining about stuff that he does? Well, do it after the 20th. Because then he'll be in office. And then you can complain. I mean, up until then, he's not doing anything. He's not doing anything. He's not in office. So, stop it. Anyway, that's kind of, I'm just looking through some news here as well. Not really seeing much. And that's it. It's 9 o'clock. Got a couple of trades that I might do. The iBit trade. Probably going to do that one. And something in XLE, like I said, a calendar spread or whatever. That's probably the best bet. And if you do a calendar spread, always do them in the money. Don't do an out of the money calendar spread because it kind of defeats the purpose. Because the reason you're doing the calendar spread is you're selling a little shorter term volatility to take advantage of especially a call calendar spread. You're selling a little short term volatility to kind of take advantage of a directional move in the future. That's a significant one, and if you do it out of the money, you're really going to lose that intrinsic value that you kind of need in a calendar spread to make it worthwhile. Otherwise, just go buy an out of the money call spread. Then don't do a calendar spread. Just go out. I mean, if that's your goal, then just go out to March and then go buy a 90, 95 call spread and just roll the dice. So that's kind of just one word of advice with that. And so anyway, pretty slow show today. Not a lot of trades. I'm going to manage what I have. We'll put my positions up because I'm always all about transparency. You can see I'm still getting my arse kicked in quite a few things. TLT, Bank of America, Adobe, IWM, NVO, a little bit of pummeling in Tesla yesterday I took. But this has been my nemesis all year, has been the TLT. I've kind of doubled down on it. Luckily, most of the stuff that I have isn't expiring until June of 2025. So I do have time. I don't know if I'm ever going to make up that $1,200 loss. I really don't. I don't know if TLT is going to make it back there. I mean, in order for everything that I have, TLT's got to be $95. That's kind of where it needs to be for me to even be at break even at this point. So, and hey, everybody has one. There's always something in your account that is just a nightmare, and that one happens to be my biggest nightmare. I'm also taking a little bit of a bath in some short calls in Bank of America, which I'm down pretty heavily in there. I don't know why this says I'm down $487, which I'm not, because I sold them at $540 and they're currently at $487. So I don't know if that's a misprint. I have no idea. That might be a misprint. Anyway, and then Adobe, anyone knows, I actually rolled this. This is a put spread that I rolled from an iron condor. I did from the earnings trade in January. I had January option, or actually I had December options, and I rolled the put side because it got breached, and I rolled the put side out to February. And yeah, that's where I sit with that. So look, I got some losers, man. And then in natural gas, we do have some winners. Apache, these are actually some small winners too. But yeah. And so and here's that AT&T trade, right? I always like to tell people, look, yeah, I do what I say. I don't no reason for me to hide. And this one happens to be down. AT&T kind of got a little bit of smackage, but I got some time on this one. I got 52 days. For this to kind of do two things, have this IV rank kind of dissipate as well, and then have it go. Really don't need it to even go up. I need it to maybe go to $23. More importantly, I need the volatility in here to kind of collapse. And biggest disappointment is UAL. I thought yesterday's move down would have put this spread in a little bit better light, but it didn't. But it is what it is. And so anyway, there you go. There you have it. Right. So I have a bunch of losers. Nothing wrong with that, though. That is all part of the program. So anyway, that's it. A couple of things brewing today, and I'm probably going to trade a little bit of MES today. I'm all set up. I'm probably going to trade a little bit of this today. I had a couple of spots in mind. I may actually look to buy a little bit down here on a little sell-off. We're kind of sitting in a no trade kind of spot right now, so I'm not real too excited about trading right here and now where we're at. I do kind of like, it's not printing right, I don't know why, but I do kind of like R1, which is about 60.17. I don't know if we get there. That's a pretty decent move, but about 60.17 is where I'm looking at. So there you have it. So that's it. Have a good day. Happy New Year, and I will be back Thursday.